Welcome into the first installment of the Gaffer Gab, the head coach of Minnesota United FC, Adrian Heath, with us. Now, before we go on and we talk about football and we talk about soccer from not just in the U.S. but across the world, we're calling it the Gaffer Gab for a very specific reason. People in the States might not be familiar with the term gaffer, though. Can you help them understand what the term gaffer means?
Well, gaffer's probably slang for boss.
Okay.
Chief, jefe, whatever you want to use around the world. But it's one of the questions I get probably asked more than anything. When people go,
right?
What's the gaffer mean? And bottom line is it's slang for boss anyway.
This is the beginning of year 6 for you here in Minnesota. I remember when there was a time where there weren't very many expectations for this club, and now there are a lot of expectations. What I would imagine is a sign of improvement and engagement with this club. Would it not be fair to say that?
Yeah, and I think the expectations are fair. We started slowly. We had as I always say, that the first year when we got 10 wins might be the best coaching job that we've done as a staff, because you can't pick and choose when you go into the MLS, and we were probably, maybe a year too early, and to get 10 wins and not finish at the bottom, which a lot of as you look at Cincinnati and people like that have done since. I think Toronto had 3 DPs from the beginning, and I think it was their 8th year they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's not easy. Yeah. So we've gradually got better, but for the last 3 years, we've made the playoffs. I think there's only 4 teams that have done it in the whole of MLS. So we're in good company. So
when you look at this year's squad, you guys, 2 years ago, you're on the doorstep. Last year was a little bit of a roller coaster for you guys. A little bit, you start off slow, you had to play catch up throughout the rest of the season. But this year's squad, 2 ties in 2 matches so far. What do you like about this group, and what do you think you need in order to maybe just kickstart it a little bit more as you keep going?
Well, I like the depth.
Yeah.
This is without a shadow of a doubt the best quality and the best numbers that we've had. We've had days when I've looked down the bench and no disrespect, that whatever I did was weakening the team on the field. That is not the case now, and I think the one thing that we've noticed as a staff this season in training, the intensity levels have been ramped up, because I think every player within our squad now realizes if I'm not performing on a Saturday and producing Monday to Friday, I've got a really good chance of losing my spot.
Yeah.
And that's for a coach, that's a good position to be in.
Take me back a little bit to when you first made the move from the UK to come to here.
Yeah.
And because does it feel like a lifetime ago now? What propelled you to come to the States to coach?
I've always loved coming to the States, holiday with the family. Always had a belief that the game would eventually take off and grow. And I realized that 13 years on, I made the right decision at the right time, because, trust me, I know how many people want to come and be involved in Major League Soccer. And I felt that if I got in early enough and got in before it really started to take off, then I had a better opportunity of sort of making a name for myself here, if you like.
How long do you want to keep coaching?
As long as I feel like I do now.
Yeah.
I wake up every morning, can't wait to get to work. The off season's too long, I can't wait to get back into and as long as I feel like that, I will continue. There will come a day, I'm sure, that when I go, I've been doing this since I left school at 15.
Yeah.
I think the longest I've been out of work is 3.5 months.
Wow.
So, you're talking over 45 years. So it's been a long time. Player, coach, manager. And as long as that carries on, and then when I finish coaching, I want to go upstairs and help the directors, whoever it is, to run a football club.
You really?
Yeah.
That's something you've been looking at?
Yeah, I think that would be I think I have too much experience, too much knowledge to suddenly go, oh, that's me done now. Not sure my wife feels the same, by the way, but that's what I feel at this moment.
Would that be in the States? Would that be back in the UK?
I've turned a couple of jobs down at home over the last 3 or 4 years of going back and being like a director of football. And one of them was quite tempting because of the club it was at. And but no, I'd like to think this was going to be my last job.
Right.
And if it is my last job, that will mean we've been successful on the team, with the team on the field. And then I would like to help the club to continue to grow the club and make it bigger and better each year.
For the casual fan, since there's not a lot of scoring in the game, it's hard to accurately measure the worth of a player or the value of a player, how they've done in a particular game throughout a particular season. As a coach, how do you get maybe the casual fan to look at a guy maybe like Chase Gasper, who is not known for being a goal scorer, or Will Trapp, you know, in terms of measuring how well they're doing in a particular game?
Well, I think that the thing is that unless you were a special player, unless you were a Lionel Messi, unless you were a Ronaldo.
Which I was not, because unfortunately I'm sitting here with you, Coach, no offense, but yeah.
Unless you're one of them players, it's very difficult for you to single-handedly take a game over.
Sure.
So then it becomes about the collective. Then it becomes about what can I do for my little piece to help this group win. And I think the people like you've just mentioned, like Chase and Will, and I look at people, you know, like a Sonny Dotson.
Yeah.
They're integral parts of what we do. Now the DPs come along, and you hope they they like the cherry on the top of the cake, if you like. They're the people who, in tight games, can they make a difference? Can they score a goal? Can they make a goal? But without Chase, without Asani, without Michael Boxall, without, you know, Tyler Miller, then what people would perceive as DP players, they can't have an effect, because, no disrespect to most of the players in this country, they aren't Lionel Messi or they aren't Cristiano Ronaldo.
I don't like to try to compare one league to another or quality of a game, but you and I were talking earlier, you know, we're talking about Premier League, we're talking about La Liga, but watching some of these matches overseas compared to some of these matches here, how do you guys narrow the gap, or what needs to happen in order for you to, because you can notice the pace of play, the quality of play, how do you narrow the gap?
Well, it will take time.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say to you, if me and you had been having this conversation, Pierre, 6 years ago, we've just had the Champions League game starting.
Right.
I guarantee you nearly every Mexican team would have won against the US.
Yeah.
Now, you look at the results last night.
Yeah, you're right.
3-0, Seattle Sounders won.
Right.
3-1, New York City.
Yep.
3-0, the Revs. The league is improving, trust me. And it's going to take time. You know, you don't become the most competitive league in the world after 25 years.
Yeah.
You just don't.
Yeah, true. Fair.
But you look at the young players now, which are leaving the States, like Ricardo Pepi for 19 million. Players are going for 10 and 15 million now. The game's growing, but it's growing at the right pace, and it's growing in the right areas. We've now got a real base from which to build on. We have the next generation of players born and bred in the US who are coming through, that people in Europe are suddenly looking at this league as a producer of talent. They've never done that. So it's going to take time, but we are getting there.
What has been said to the players, and what do the players say to each other in terms of the expectations for this year?
Well, as I say, the last 3 years we made the playoffs. Anything less than that will be a huge disappointment, not only for the players, for me, and I'm sure for the ownership group, but our supporters. Our supporters have grown now to expect us to be really, really competitive, and anything less than that will be seen as a failure.
Have you ever called it soccer once?
I did once at home, and I was in my local pub on a Sunday afternoon watching football, and I said, what time's the soccer on? And it was like that moment, you know, when the piano stops, and everybody turns around, and all my friends were like, did he just say soccer? Yeah, I did say soccer. I'm sorry.
That could not have gone well.
No, it didn't go down well at the time, I've got to be honest.
I hope no knives were drawn in the pub.
No.
Okay, thank goodness for that.
They still let me remember it when I go back.
Now you've been in Minnesota for a long time. Does it feel more and more like home? What is it? What are your thoughts of just being in this community for as long as you have been?
We love it here. I know it's a very easy thing to say, but you know, we were in Austin, which was great. We were in Florida, which was great at the time, but this is our favorite place that we've lived. So I always say to my missus, if we end up staying here for the full duration, there could be worse places to be, for sure. So we really like it.
Why do you think it is your favorite stop so far?
I like the seasons.
Yeah.
And obviously being in Texas and being in Florida.
Sure.
You know, there's only so many days you can wake up with 100-degree heat and think it's nice, you know.
Sure.
No, I enjoy the seasons, and obviously we get a chance to go back in the winter as well. So we probably don't get it as tough as everybody else.
Fair enough.
And I just think that spring, the summer, and the fall is as beautiful as you can get. We try and get as much time as we can on the lake. So no, it's we really like it here.
This is just the first of many installments of the Gaffer Gab this season as the 2022 MLS season rolls along. Minnesota United taking on New York on Sunday. Coach, it was great to do this with you. Cheers.
Pleasure.
All
Cheers.
right.